Well, good morning and welcome to today's episode of Random Thoughts. I'm glad that you are with me this morning. We had an interesting dialogue last night in our Bible study, Bring Your Own Bag and Bible, BYOB and V, about AI, some of the what it does, why it is, the who, what, where, when, whys, and hows. And that's all great and wonderful. Unfortunately, we just never got a chance to talk about the implications of it. So, I want to share with you some of my thoughts regarding AI and the implications of it. And I also want to share a little bit of history because we never remember history. And history is a wonderful thing. So, history and implications of AI. We'll get right into it right after this. All right, well, welcome back. History and implications of AI. AI, we all hear the phrase, its title is artificial intelligence, meaning it's creating its own intelligence that isn't from a human mind. There was a great discussion last night, about what forms of AI are there, and the one that is the most interesting in the realm of implications is the one where it creates its own questions and it anticipates what you might want in the context of information. So it's saying, oh, I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you. And it's interesting, but what is the beginnings of AI? Well, let's go back 5 years when weren't talking about AI, and AI was kind of like this nebulous kind of thing way off in the distance. You remember the phrase, or some of you may remember the phrase, well, let's Google it. It was the era of the databases. Now, there was more than just Google back in the day. I mean, if you go even further back, there were dozens of different programs, opportunities for data information, for getting information that's not in let's say, what's behind me, a book. You wanted to get a faster information. You want to get more information available to you. Well, you just asked Google. But before Google, there was a whole boatload of other database inquiry programs that were out there on the internet. And what happened before the internet? You created your own inquiry when you typed in your own computer on your terminal, not a computer, but a terminal, to go access to a mainframe somewhere either in the building you were in or via telephone lines. Now, some of us may remember the dial-in modems. Oh, you could work from your house, but you had to tie up your phone line in order to do it. You had this modem thing that you would literally set the handset, like that thing right over there, and you would plug it into a coupler, they used to call it, and you would send the signal through the phone line. It would go beep, 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 and it would enter. Anyway, that's just the ancient history of technology, and that's only 40 years ago. All of this processing, the speed at which data is mined and gotten and now anticipated, it has been astronomically how fast this data mining, data digging, data accessing has gone. And what is interesting, and just one of the AI platforms that we have right now is well, there's a lot of them. And the person who uh, did the presentation last night asked it to do several things. It did it, and then he said, "I need it in an outline form." Did it. I need it in a PowerPoint. Did it. I mean, within the span of, he said, 10 minutes, it created the PowerPoint. And he said, I couldn't have done it in hours. It would have taken me hours to do it to the level of what the PowerPoint was. So there are some advantages to this form of data inquiry we call artificial intelligence. Speed is the first and foremost thing. So that's a brief history of data gathering from the 1980s until today. Data gathering before, look behind me. That's how one gathered data before. Those blue books that are on the top shelf above my head, those are commentary books on different books of the Bible. Now, if I move over ever so slightly this way, those green books that are on the second shelf from the top, those are also commentaries. And if you look at the books that are over here on the left of the screen, I'm pointing, I gotta get my finger to point in the right. Anyway, over there. Those are another set of commentaries. Why do I have so many commentaries? I need the information from different points of view so that when I'm preparing a Bible study or a sermon, that's what I used to go to. Now, it's all right here on my laptop. I haven't cracked a book in a long time. Now, why is that? Speed. Speed of gathering the information. That's all I use it for. So the implication for me is just it gathers information that I'm looking for in a far faster mode than I ever could, and I'm a very slow reader. But there are more implications than that. There are far more implications than just the speed of which it can create. It's the creatability that's the problem. It's creating things that it thinks you want. It's anticipating my thought process and anticipating it producing something that I think I might want. I've used an AI platform previously to help build a source for a Bible study I'm writing. It anticipated it, and here's the other interesting twist to this. It took different queries that I've had of it regarding another form of classwork and information and mushed it all together and compiled it. So here's where the really worst impact of it is. It's thinking for me. It's analyzing the data. It's not just gathering it. It's analyzing it. And it's taking away because it's fast. Oh, okay. But here's the fun part that you can overcome that implication. You look at it, you read it. Does that make sense to you? Can you fact check it? Can you read it according to another source? I was pointing to my commentaries that are behind me, right? Those are people's opinions about the Word of God and what the Word of God came from and what does it mean and the language of sorted. And these guys are experts back there that wrote all these things. But the one thing, the greatest thing that I need to do when I'm looking at all this information, whether it's from a book or whether it's from a website or whatever, I have to fact check it. I've got to read this for myself. I have to read this for myself, which means I am the one who looks at the data, looks at what God wrote for me, and God is telling me, now who is in charge? The book's back there, the computer here, or God? I'll give you three choices, and the first two don't count. God's in charge. It's Him who is the arbiter. And we cannot accept information coming from another source, whether it is a computer generated source or a human written source, without back checking it against the original. We must, no matter what the information is, must back check it against the originals. If we don't, we're accepting somebody else's input, and thereby, here's the biggest implication of the whole thing: we're putting something else before God. The greatest implication is who's in charge of the information. Not me. It's not me. It's not AI. It's not the commentators or any other written source that's out there. Those are all back behind me, except for the Bibles, which you can't see. Those are all human-based information, human-based process. What goes on, and I'm pointing at my laptop, what goes on inside the computer is human-based information that a computer is processing 5 times, 10 times, 100 times faster than a human can process it. But what we need to do more than anything else is fact check, especially when it comes to our relationships, when it comes to our relationship with God, is fact check it against what does God say. What did God write? What did God write down as far as who he is, what our relationships with people are, what he came to do, etc. You can gather opinions from books behind me or AI, Google's, search engines. But ultimately, it boils back down to this. What does God say? And that's what you need to do when dealing with AI. Now, I'll use it as a tool, but that's all it is. I will not form my opinion based solely upon what it tells me. I will have to back check it, obviously. So, anyway, that's all I've got for you right now. And we'll look forward to seeing you Sunday morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 9:15 for Bible Talk Sunday. Bring your kiddos, bring yourself, and we've got multiple places for you to go to. Check out our website as to the group splits and age groups, etc., and where they're meeting. And you do that, and then I'll see you at 9:15, and then I'll see you Sunday morning also at 10:30 in the divine service. Okay, I'll see you guys.